Hey Apprentice Squad and the stream team, welcome to another live stream. Sorry, the dog just walked out the space door. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys had a great week. Welcome to another live stream. Excited to hang out with you guys today. Sorry for the delay, trying to get stuff figured out, trying to get the little chat thing to work so I can throw people's chats up on the screen, but I just couldn't get it to work. So we're just gonna get started. Anyway, I was in the process of digitizing the pattern that you can kind of see here. I took the picture of it, brought it into the computer, been tracing it. That was the other thing I was trying to finish up before the stream started, but I didn't get it all to a point where I could print it off and use that. So what I'm thinking we'll do is we'll test the pattern out by just transferring these pieces directly onto some foam and test it out and see how that is going, how the helmet's going to work, and see if our two-defying, the way that we did it, works out and what those seams will look like. So hopefully that way we can get some actual build progress visible for you guys. Then I can finish digitizing it and then finalize that and everything. So yeah, anyway, who we got on here? We got Leia, Yonolith, Cayman Rider Double Dragon, what's up? Christopher Jones, how you doing? April, what's up? Reds Gaming, hey, welcome. Leia, I thought you weren't going to be able to join in today. We're glad to see you. Yeah, so big news. If you guys saw in the description, we have a Discord channel, Discord server set up. We just got it set up last night. A few people saw it or were on Patreon and saw that they got an invite to join the patron lounge kind of thing. But we have areas available to everyone so that the stream team, you guys can all go on there and hang out, and we can chat and have some fun in there on the off days when we're not doing the live stream. What? Yonolith? Starting it off strong. Holy cow, thank you. Oh my goodness. Wow, thanks. Holy cow, we got Zambi on. Captain Seabones, what's up? Wow, thank you, Yonolith. Oh my goodness. That's so nice of you. So generous. Thank you. Holy cow. All right. Wow, sweet. I think that's like a record time. We're not even, just a couple minutes in, if that. Thank you. So cool. All right, awesome. With that, I wanted to try to get the ability to be able to throw those up onto the screen and show people, but I couldn't get that to work. So, Cayman Rider Double Dragon. Hey, this is Joshua. Oh, Joshua Campbell. What's up? Cool. Sweet, so that's your YouTube channel name. Hey, Clint, huge car guy. Hey all, can't stay long, but wanted to pop on. Thanks for joining in for a bit. Okay, so for those of you just joining in, I haven't finished digitizing the pattern yet, so we're just going to use the tin and tape pattern here, and that'll kind of give you guys an idea if you're just doing this on your own and you created a pattern using the tin and tape thing, how you can just take that pattern and transfer it right onto your foam. You don't have to go through the digitizing process. I do that so that I can simplify it, make it super easy for other people to download and replicate themselves to be able to make that available. But you can just take the tin and tape here as is after we two-defied it like we did last week in the stream, and then transfer that directly onto the foam. So I've already taken the picture of this and got it onto the computer, so I feel like we can use these without hopefully causing too many problems. I don't think I might need to reference them again if I have questions as I'm tracing stuff, but I think that we're okay to like notch out the pattern, the registration marks and that kind of thing on these. No problem. So, all right, with that, let's jump in. Oh, thank you. Yonalith, that's so awesome. Well, we're glad that we had you on for just a little bit at least. Um, hey, Win, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. All right, and hopefully that storm's not too crazy for you guys. All right, here we go. Let's jump in. I'm going to grab some foam, and I need my pattern notcher, which is right here. And let's notch these. I think hopefully I can get this tape to still stick. That way I don't have to pin everything down. I'll just actually just use the tape and tape that to the pattern to trace, or to the foam. Okay, here's a piece right here we can start with. So I'm excited, guys. We're gonna basically test kind of our two-defying concept here. Usually I'll just digitize it and I'll go right into using the digitized pattern for doing this. And then if I end up having to make any adjustments, do that. Usually, because we've done all of the work up front of kind of making sure things worked and looked right and everything, and then we just basically cut that up into pieces and marked how to reassemble it, things usually end up working pretty well and combining together. The only times we really run into any issues is when you have like layers that you're dealing with. If you didn't do those layers on your pattern, and then you're just kind of like saying, oh, I'll just trace that section, but then it ends up being, you know, the thickness of the foam you didn't take into account, and then it just might end up a little short or something like that. So usually I try to account for those when I'm digitizing it, but I don't think we'll get to that point here of any secondary layers today, but I'm hoping that we can get some of this base traced out, cut out, and then hopefully glue some of it together. We'll see how far we can get in our time today, but this is an exciting day. Holy cow. All right, so yes, we do have the... Hey, Chris Carlson, what's up, man? So glad to have you on. Yes, so I was saying we have the Discord server. I've linked to it in the description of this video. So make sure to go check that out and join in over there. That'll be pretty fun. I'm completely new to the Discord and stuff, so I'll be learning it and hopping in there. If you're one of our patrons, make sure that you connect your Discord to Patreon, and that'll automatically give you access to the patrons only lounge inside of our Discord server there, where you get a little bit more, you know, kind of exclusive access, or kind of your own little lounge to hang out in and that kind of stuff. So make sure that that's connected on Patreon. And there we go. So I'm just going through doing the registration punches on this. It's actually kind of nice with the tin and tape. It punches better than the paper, because sometimes the paper will have little ones that hang and don't quite punch all the way through, but because the tinfoil is a little stiffer, it's actually working quite well. So I'm just taking these pieces and I'm just going to punch the registration marks on them. So some of these, we only did half of it on the pattern, right? But we'll need to just take this, trace the half of it, flip it over, and then trace the other half as well. And so actually on this one, we'll probably want to cut out the inside of this piece, because this is actually going to be a hollow piece, and then this will sit inside. And you know what, I might not worry about this piece today. We'll see what it looks like if we need to add this in, because there's a couple things I'm adding. With the fins in the back, it's kind of got these little you know, overlapping plates, and they look super flat from this angle when you're looking at it straight on. They just look like it's just like 2 millimeter pieces, you know, just overlapping, laying on each other. But if you actually look at a different angle of it, let me show you guys. Maybe it'd be better to switch to the other camera angle for this. Let me do that so you guys can see better. Hold on. There it is. That's the angle I want. Okay, let me switch cameras. Right here. So hopefully you guys can see this better. So from this angle, they look just super flat, like just little flat plates lying, overlapping on each other. And that's what I thought it was. And then I saw this angle, and actually there's quite a bit of depth to this. They actually come up and bend back on themselves. You can see, let me see if I can get you closer. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can see on the reflection there that kind of L, that bright L that shows up there. That's this piece coming down and then actually bending back before it connects into the other one. So they actually have more of kind of a vented stagger to these where they're actually sticking out more. So I estimated, that this entire depth here is about 10 millimeters from the top of this back. So on the computer, I'm adding a little, I'm taking this out to here, like 10 millimeters out and down, so that we'll cut in right there and right there, but we'll leave a piece that we can fold down inside of there. We'll do like a under groove cut or something like that to be able to fold that down so that we have something to stick those two on the sides. And then on these little pieces, I added, I think it was 8 millimeters, because they all come out to about the same point, and they're about 2 millimeters shy of the top. And if this is 10 millimeters total, that's 2 millimeters shy from the bottom, so 4, so 6 millimeters extra on the bottom here. Hopefully that's making sense to you guys. So I don't know, we'll worry about this piece today. We'll see how far we get, but I'm going to start with the big pieces. I'm going to start with the face piece here and the jaw piece and hopefully this top part, and see if kind of our general structure of the helmet is going to work. I won't worry about these extra layers too much, or the secondary layers here, but we just want to know, hey, is our overall thing going to translate into foam in general, and get kind of that base shape going for you guys, at least one half of it, to be able to show off and see the progress on it. So, what? Christopher Jones, thank you. Oh my goodness, I just noticed that. And Zambi, what? You guys, holy cow. So awesome. Wow. This is amazing. Thank you guys. Ionolith, Zambi, Chris, Christopher Jones. You guys... You guys are spoiling us. Thank you so much. How do I connect my Patreon to the Discord? Okay, cool. So yeah, Ariana, you're answering that for her. Thanks. Hey, Patricia, no worries. We haven't gotten too far yet. You're not too late, so... Chris Carlson said, Mando helm? Yes. Yep. I'm really excited to see how this works with the way we flattened this to transfer it onto the foam. I'm really excited to see how well these seams get hidden, because I think it's going to work quite well, and we may have stumbled upon a cool little trick. So, cool. All right. Send pictures, of course. Okay, awesome. I love the little dab emoji there, Chris Carlson. And then Christopher Jones, again, thank you. Zambi, holy cow, I don't know why I'm donating, but I am. I love it. Thank you. That is so kind of you and so generous, and it really, truly means a lot to me, and I'm so grateful to you guys. You guys make this possible, and it's great hanging out with you guys each week, too. So, oh, I'm not even... I always do this. I talk to you guys on the other camera. I'm sitting here talking to this camera, and you guys are just seeing the table. Thank you guys. Again, Zambi and Christopher Jones and Ionolith already. You guys are amazing. So, what? Did it once, doing it again? Oh my goodness, Zambi. Thank you. Holy cow. My goodness. Wow. Thank you. Holy cow. That is... You didn't even know why you were doing it the first time, and now you're doing it a second time. I'm so grateful. Thank you. That is awesome. Wow. Alrighty. And then Ariana just talked about the vents in the back. That's so the air can come up in around your head. Yeah, so I'm hoping to be able to have that be open so that we can get some airflow in there in the helmet. So that'll be good. I'm starting on my second Mando suit, and I'm going to be 3D printing my helmet. Sweet! Red's Gaming, that sounds awesome. Cool, cool. Ariana says, no problem, we're trying to get our super chats in before Sammy comes in and blows us out of the water. No, you guys are great. Thank you so much. Hey, Mariana Cruz Vidal. Hi, how's it going? Hopefully I said your name right. Welcome to the chat. So yeah, everybody, if you are just joining, check out in the description. We've got a link to the Discord server that we set up. It's a link invite to join, and so that'll give you access to kind of the general chat areas on the channel. We have a section for questions about FOMO and what the foam to, if you have specific questions about those, and then we have some hangout areas and that kind of stuff, some voice channels, and then we have like a patrons lounge for open to our patrons on Patreon. It'll automatically give you access to that if you connect your Discord to Patreon, and kind of a special VIP lounge to hang out in. So, and I believe that that's for any level on Patreon. So. Cool. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna do the notches on here. This big piece. So if you guys have seen my before when we've done the patterns and things, I tape this down to the table to get it to lay nice and flat when I take a picture of it. And I'll show you guys. I use what I refer to as magic tape, which is just taking the masking tape and just rolling it up backwards so it's like sticky on all sides kind of thing. I think one of my elementary school teachers called it magic tape, and that's just what I've called it since. So anyway, I'm going to use the tape to our advantage, hopefully, and just try to stick it down to the foam to trace it. I was trying to digitize this and didn't finish it before the stream today. So we're going to go with what we got to try to test this out and actually get some build progress visible for you guys. You guys have been patient and probably anxiously waiting to see how this turns out. So, wanted to be able to have something come together for you guys today. Let's see. Hey, we got Much Props on here. What's up, man? Zambi, those are my first ever donations. Well, thank you so much. That means even more that you'd be willing to do that and use your hard-earned money and donate to me and the channel here as your first donations ever. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Thomas said, I hope everyone had a great week. It's been a rough one down here in Texas. I'm sorry to hear that. Thomas, let's see. Sammy said, did Sammy say he's sad? Shoot, I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I'm with Red. Why are you sad? Alright, let's see, which camera angle? I'm just clipping these. I don't know how, if you guys want me to switch a camera angle for this. It's pretty straightforward. I'm just using the pattern notcher. Makes it easy to notch out the registration marks. If you guys have questions about registration marks or what that is or how that works or why I'm doing that, let me know. But soon here it'll become more evident as to what is going on with them and why they're valuable and important. Okay, let's see. Just working my way around this, trying to make sure I don't miss any. Hey, Tech Savvy Hero, what's up? Greetings and happy Friday. Failed a really important health test for school, or I know you were going to get tested for COVID, right? Is Patricia on track there? Was that what it was? Or is it like a health test for school that's like that you needed to do well on and didn't or something? Either way, that's unfortunate. Tech Savvy Hero, cheers, more Mando fun, good stuff. Yeah, sorry if you guys are just like sick of every live stream lately just being Mando. Um, I'm working on trying to get other videos and stuff written and put together, and I get a little bit of throw a little bit of time at it, so I get a little bit of progress. But then I'm like, hey, this is a good excuse to get some more done on this and have you guys join in. And hopefully, if you guys have been following along, even though it's been a while and you've had to wait each week in between, hopefully it's been good information for you guys or valuable just to see kind of the entire process and get to a little bit more in-depth breakdown as to kind of how I go through and do these things and make them and the things, because I don't go this in depth in the videos for sure as to especially this part of the process, because generally I'll provide the pattern for you guys and just say, hey, here it is, you can get it and make this yourself, so hopefully it's been valuable for you guys. Alright, this is the other piece I want to just notch out, and then we'll throw it on the foam and trace it, and then hopefully we can get it cut out, glue it together, and see what it's going to look like. Okay, so it was for school. Sammy, I'm sorry, man. That's no good. That's always rough. I remember, I don't know I remember several times thinking I did okay, or I was like planning on doing well, on a test, and then somehow I just like didn't pass it or get near as the score I wanted to or needed to, and that's rough. But hopefully, in the long run of things, it'll all work out.
Bye, Thomas. Thanks for stopping in.
Hey, thanks, man. Nice to see you. I hope the rest of your week
I think it's just been a hard
goes
week
better.
for the whole country.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. But yeah, I hope that the rest of your week
And congratulations if you're
goes
still
better.
watching this on your video that you just put out and all the milestones you hit this
Yeah, that was so exciting to see. So, hey, DF. Yo, what do you plan on using for the visor? That is a great question. Is it right over there? Hey, the funds arrived. I think it's over there and buried underneath a couple things. It's the visor piece that we're going to use. So yeah, great question. We're grabbing it. Olivia's working on trying to find it. Is it not here? Anyway, what we'll be using...
Oh, is this it?
Yes, that's it. So the same thing that I used on the Clone Trooper helmet, it worked out really well. Here for this. So it's basically just a replacement welding visor that you would like stick into a welding helmet kind of thing.
Zambi, thanks for the $1. I've seen that you've donated
Wait,
several
another
times
one?
today. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Zambi! Holy cow!
Hello, April Queen. Olivia. Hello, Queen. I'm just sending money. Well, that's so nice of you.
Zambi, thank you. Oh my goodness, that is so awesome. We really appreciate it. Like, that is great, and thank you so much. You're so generous. Okay, so basically, for that one, I used a smaller one because it's just this little section of visor that we have to cover. But this one, because it's so tall and everything, I got like an extra large one or something like that. I don't even know which one we ordered. I'll put a link to it in the video when we come out with it as to which one it is. I'll double check which one we ordered, but it's like huge. Now, we're not going to use this full thing width-wise. You know, it'll probably be, you know, like a section like this and then down like this or something. But I had to get like a bigger one because there's just more visor surface area for this guy. But this works great. It's basically like you can see really well through it. And it basically just looks like you're looking through a pair of sunglasses, you know. So if you're indoors, everything's a little bit darker.
So the brand is Cellstrom?
Cellstrom, yeah. So anyway, that's what I'll be using. It looks kind of green when you're looking at it normal, but then once you get it into the helmet and backed with just that dark, it just looks like a black, dark reflective visor. So pretty cool.
Said, awesome, thanks for the info. I'm working on a Republic. Oh, Clint, thank you. 15.
What?
Almost on the 15th. Gotta run. Have a great weekend. Thank you,
Thank you, Clint. Thanks for stopping in, and thank you for the donation. Oh my goodness, you guys are just so awesome. That is great. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to join us on the Discord server as well.
And I just signed up, so I'm on there too now. They said they're working on a Republic Commando build.
Oh,
So
sweet.
they were looking for ideas.
Cool, yeah. It works great. The first time I used it, I think it was somebody on the channel here that recommended it to do that. It might have been Ariana or someone. But yeah, it worked so well on that Clone Trooper helmet that I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that for this too. Because it works really well. Trickiest part is just finding one big enough for this, so hopefully that one fits. We'll know now that we have the pattern a little bit better of whether it'll fit or not. Okay, perfect. Here we go. We've got these pieces with the registration marks cut out. Now what I need to see is what I need to do to mark this. Should I just cut this visor piece out?
Cut it out.
I think I should just cut it out.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
So my theory is a lot of when working with a lot of other foams, when I've seen people do Mandalorian helmets, they need to keep this section and just mark where the visor piece is gonna get cut out, or they have like tabs and stuff that they'll like try to glue in here as a placeholder. But I think that with our 4mm What the Foam, because it holds so well, and because we've already planned out where the visor is going to go and different things, and with the pattern I'm going to have like marked what's visible on the visor and what is going behind and gluing in on the back of the helmet, I think we can get away with just fine cutting this out, and so just cutting our foam pieces in a way that we can just leave that open the whole time and not have it cause problems for us. So, because I know a lot of people wait till they have the whole helmet together and then cut that out, and then even have like some spacers that they glue in instead to put the visor in, and then the visor kind of helps solidify that. So we'll see. This will be a good test. We'll see how that works. And maybe I'll be like, oh, that's why everybody was doing it that way.
I guess this is a good test, right? Are you kind of
Yeah.
gonna make it again with
So
the pattern?
yeah, so what I'm gonna, this is a testing out the pattern and trying out some things with you guys here, and then I'm gonna probably do it again and record it for the video using the pattern, digitized pattern, so that way it makes more sense for people following along, and they're not like, wait, mine's not all shiny on the back, you know, when they're using the paper, or if I changed things a little bit on the paper one or something like that. I don't want people to be confused or be wondering, wait, did I get the wrong thing, or how come mine doesn't look quite like that? That kind of thing. So okay, here goes. That piece is cut out. Let's see, will it fit on there?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. That part can be up, and that won't matter.
Hi.
Sorry, I was just checking that piece on the visor thing that we were just talking about to see if it would fit on there just fine. So, okay, so now I wonder, can we do...
Two, not like that. Could you do one like that and then one go in this direction?
Well, I'm just wondering if I'd be able to mirror that piece so it's all one piece. No, it's not going to work. Okay, we'll just do them separate. That seam's going to be basically hidden anyway, so. But I think we can definitely fit the one on here like this. Oh, I lost some of my tape pieces because they were attached to that other thing. Once again, you guys want a different angle for this? Maybe go to the top overhead angle so you guys can see what I'm doing here a little bit better. So I'm just making some magic tape here real quick. So I'm just ripping off little strips of the tape. And once again, I use this contractor masking tape stuff. It's got a good stick to it, but also releases, it sticks better than painter's tape, and painter's tape's a lot more expensive. This stuff is also easier to write on. It's easier to see your marking on and that kind of stuff. So I've found that it's actually more advantageous to have it be a little bit stickier for doing this, and to have be easier to write on and everything. So for patterning, it's the better way to go because it's less expensive than doing painter's tape or duct tape, and it also just has more advantages in general for this use, right? Okay, let's see if that will be sufficient. Oh, shoot. Okay. Once I stuck it all down, that bottom ended up being hanging over just a tad bit.
Cool. So Joshua Campbell's saying, or we can call you Cayman Rider. I'll be doing a Cayman Rider Cross Z armor build video. Cool.
Sweet. Sounds awesome.
Cool. Tech Savvy Hero just joined the Discord server.
Yay! Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, we have a section over there too. It says "Show me your stuff." So that's a great place if you guys are working on cool builds and stuff, and you want to share it with everybody. You know, drop it in there and show it off. Love to see you guys' cool builds. We have a section for What the Foam and FOMO. So if you built anything out of that you want to show off there too, be like, look what I just made out of FOMO. Or if you just got some or something like that, or What the Foam in the mail, and you're like, oh, check out what I just got, guys. Post it in there. If you have questions on any of those products as well and using them, post that in there. We kind of tried to categorize some things. Obviously, we're new to this, and as we get going, we'll probably figure out, oh, hey, we need to add this or do this and that kind of thing. But yeah, excited to see you guys in there. I'm learning how to use it because I'm completely new to it. So we'll kind of see how that goes.
I didn't know it was gonna let me know every time people join.
Oh, did you get it on your...
I put it on my phone.
Oh, cool. I need to get it on my phone. I only have it on the computer. That's cool. Yeah, so there's a bot that will post in there anytime someone joins, and kind of like welcome them and let everybody know that they joined, and
it wouldn't let me
send them
just
to the
be
rules.
Olivia, so I'm Olivia, Mrs. Cosplay Apprentice.
Oh,
I
nice.
didn't know what else to be.
That's awesome. It wouldn't let you just do Olivia?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Did it just say it's like too short or too vague or what?
It said too many people have that name.
Oh.
Tech Savvy Hero, great place. Oh, awesome. We'll post WhipWorks.
Perfect.
It's tricky to say, WhipWorks. Okay, great place to communicate in between live streams. Yeah, and then Leia says, my phone is a buzz off the chart with all the new joins. Yeah, I didn't know it was going to let me know every time people joined, so that's fun.
Yeah, sorry. Hopefully that's not annoying, guys. But I think it's kind of fun to see, like, oh, hey, all these people are joining in. Okay, we're going to need another piece for that section. All right. I'm going to grab another piece of foam real quick. Oh. Let's see. Do we have any foam around here? I need 4mm though. I know one of these. Is that the one that has 4 in it? Sorry, guys.
Brother, give me 5 reasons why I should be a patron.
Okay, well, who's this? Who am I talking to?
Sammy Seabones.
Sammy Seabones. Okay, reason number 1, if you do the middle tier, or the if you do the level 2, the middle tier, what is it, the Cosplay Apprentice tier, then you get access to all of the patterns that I've ever made and or will make, and early access to any patterns coming out. So you will get access to the Mandalorian one first. As soon as I have it ready and I think, okay, this looks like it's working just fine for me doing my build before I'm even done with the video, we'll throw it on there and say, hey, here's the Mandalorian pattern. I think it's good to go. It's looking good so far on my build, and we'll drop it in there. So that's a big one. Wait, is this the paint stand? Oh.
This is embarrassing. 4. Do you want me to find 4?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, sorry. I thought this was a box of 4mm what the foam, and then I opened it up and it was my paint stand. So check out that video on how to make a paint stand that fits in a what the foam box. Just make sure to label it. There we are. What? That was so fast.
This is my life. My kids are like, I can't find this thing, and then I go over and I pick it up and hand it to them. And so I was like, I can't find this thing. And
Just
I'm like, here you go.
magic superpower.
Something happens when you become a mom and you just know where everything is.
Yes, so that's one huge reason. And like for the most part, I feel like that's like a really good reason right there just on its own. Other reasons are
now you have access to the...
You'll have access to a patrons only lounge in the Discord server, so kind of like a little bit more of like a VIP room kind of thing to hang out in with the other patrons, and I might be in there a little bit more often in that one kind of thing, so a little bit more access there. And then what are some other good stuff in there? Perks. Yeah, like there's the chat function in there to ask questions or reach out. We're going to try to do better about having a little bit more kind of like exclusive content that gets put in there for the patrons.
Okay, so early access to patterns, all access to free patterns.
Access to all the patterns for free.
Discord lounge.
Mm-hmm.
Special area. Sorry, I'm getting all distracted. What'd you just say with that last one?
And then, yeah, like some exclusive content.
Exclusive content. The pride of being a patron.
Yeah. You get to be among the patron peeps. Oh, yes, duh. That one is a big one. So you get your name put at the end of every one of our videos if you're a patron. And then if you're the boss level patron, cosplay boss level patron, you get your name like static there. So like the other ones will kind of all be scrolling.
Thanks, Christian. For the mom powers.
Oh, nice. Yeah, thank you, Christian. Oh, my goodness.
That's so nice of you.
For the mom powers. Yeah.
Someone's at front door.
Giveaway jar in that.
Oh, yeah, in the cosplay boss level as well. We do a giveaway jar, a giveaway jar kind of thing. So we'll... if you become in there, you get your name in the drawing to win like free product or something like that. And then also, there's something else in that one too. I think it's like yeah. Anyway, go check it out. If you go to our Patreon, it's got the benefits there. But like for the middle tier, the main one is just like access to all the patterns for free, because I sell them usually for $10 to $15 to $20 on Etsy and on our website. And I mean, the reason is because you guys see how much effort it is for me to make them and have them be as seamless as possible, and trying to make them the best possible and as accurate as I can. And so there's a lot of work that goes into it, and so charging for them is just so that you know, I can try to rationalize the time that I spent doing that and making that available, kind of thing. And I make them super easy to use and recreate. I've had people, you know, that take the pattern, and you know, while it may have taken me 4 months to build and put together and make the thing myself, because I was trying to make it in a way that would be super replicatable, and then they go and make the helmet in 6 hours using the pattern. And I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. That's great. So it really helps cut down on time, helps you gain confidence that you're going to have a good-looking piece. You just follow the pattern and what it tells you to do and stuff. So yeah, having access to all of those is great, especially you know, if you're doing some of the ones where we've done multiples, like the Hiccup ones or Wonder Woman stuff, where you get like several pieces of the costume all in at once there.
Christian just said the name at the end of the videos with the last tier is always there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be static, not moving. The other ones will all be scrolling. So if you're a cosplay boss tier, your name is just like there, visible the whole time, kind of thing. So a little bit more prominence on at the end. But we want to give everybody the shout out. So everyone, we show off everyone's names on there. But Papaya.
We don't know why he does that.
No,
but...
so Everett explained it to me this morning.
Oh.
So in the Breath of the Wild game, I guess, there's a girl named Paya or something like that. But she's kind of shy and doesn't want to like talk to people really, and so she kind of like, she's like, I'm Papaya or something for saying her name, kind of like stutters it or whatever. So then that just like stuck, and they're just like Papaya.
Aw, T-Bones, that convinced me to be a patron. Stay tuned. Aw, thanks.
All right,
Tony.
sweet
You
man.
wanted to be your like a honorary one, but you don't have access to anything, so you might as well be one.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, thanks, man. That'll be great. I'm excited to see your name in there. Okay, cool. Let's trace this. Yeah?
You don't need a permanent marker.
Okay. So, I need to order a new set of pens so I can, and I don't have this marked properly. Oh, shoot. So, real quick, I need to mark or make it possible to mark this, because right here I need to mark this with a, that's going to be an undercut, so we don't need to mark it yet. Sorry, I'm not used to doing it off of the tin and tape, so this will be actually a bevel cut. So we're going to go gold here. Oh, I should probably switch camera angles now for you guys. So that's going to be a bevel cut, because this is the jaw piece, so it's going to sit inside of here, and these are going to, it's going to actually like from here, cut inward. So let me switch camera angles so you guys can see what in the world I'm actually pointing to and looking at here. There we go. Okay, so marking this with gold because I need to cut that at a bevel and this at a bevel so that when they meet up, it's actually going to angle in. Now on my pattern, when I do it, these will be marked in a way that like you can get the exact angle you need. Super simple, like you just mark it where it tells you and then just cut along that. And so by hand you can get the bevel that you need. And it's all just like marked out plainly on there to get the exact angle you actually need for that. So that will help a lot there. And actually, you know what? If we cut these at a bevel and just cut this one straight, that might be enough for what we need. So I'm going to draw little arrows saying that I need to cut this at a bevel in so that when it lines up with this one, that will cause it to jut inward.
Bye, Red. Bye, Christopher Jones.
Hey, Christopher Jones and Red's Gaming, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And Christopher Jones, thank you for your donation. Come back and rewatch later. Can't wait to see how it turns out. Thanks for all you do. Thank you for tuning in. It's been so fun to have you the last couple times. And I'm really excited to get this pattern done for you so that you can use it. We'll see how this the seams go on this. Hopefully we can do it in a way that it'll be better so you don't have troubles with the seams like you've had on other ones. So thanks, man, for tuning in. Have a good one. And Red's Gaming, thanks. It was so nice to see you again. It's been a while. I guess we've had you on for a little bit.
I think.
Yeah. A couple times. It just was so long not seeing you that it feels like it's still been long. Okay. So that one is like that.
Oh, bye,
Then these will be
Ariana.
straight cuts. See, Ariana, thanks for tuning in. I'm glad we caught you a little bit before work. Hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. And we got the Discord. You guys have been asking for it. So that's exciting. Okay, cool. So I think I've got that marked. Now I'll want to just mark registration marks.
And then also, we have kind of talked about this idea of a higher tier on Patreon. Just throwing this out there.
Yeah.
Of a box subscription. So we're figuring that out as well.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of logistics and stuff, and we're talking through it, trying to figure out how that would work and whatnot. But you guys seem to like the idea, and we think it'd be fun. So essentially, it'd be, you know, like every month or every quarter or something like that, you would just get sent a package that has, you know, more value worth of materials like our products and, you know, cosplay books or whatever else we can negotiate from other makers or companies and stuff. Just full of a bunch of great stuff for you guys to craft.
Trisha, yes, the box tier. I feel like that would give so much value to you guys.
Yeah, that would be like a ton of value and stuff. So we would love to do that. Okay. Do you think we cut enough of a bevel on this that it'll jut in on here if we just do this straight? Or do you think we need to do it both at an angle?
I have no idea.
See, this is the kind of stuff I figure out on the pattern for you guys. And I use my calculator that we put on the website that'll help you figure out how to do the angles to join in at the right point to where it does the angle you want. Yeah.
Okay,
I was showing them the angle.
What you wanted.
Yeah. To where what angle you should cut this piece and this piece to have it join and make the end result angle that you want. So for example, on this, I have a calculator on there, and I usually go in when I'm doing the pattern, and I'll measure. I'll like look at what angle this is, and then figure out what you need to cut these at to make it result in that exact angle when you glue it together. But for now, we're kind of winging it on this one a little bit more. So
this will give you a good idea when you go in to do it. Oh, this is going to be...
Yeah. So I think we might be able to, if we cut these at enough of a bevel, then we can get away with doing these straight, which will make our lives a little bit simpler. The less bevels we have to cut, the easier life generally will be. Man, I need to restock on markers. These ones are fading quickly. Wait, didn't we get one with our from TNT with our
Yeah, we have
plastas
some
out?
Oh, look around.
So yeah, if we just do all these as straight cuts, that will make life a little bit easier.
I like how we have all these little dragons sitting around it.
Oh yeah. Okay, these will just be straight.
Here you go.
Oh, did you find it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. New marker. Ah, there we go. That's showing up better. That'll be better. So usually I like to use extra fine tip paint pens because I can get them in a bunch of different colors and they're like give you a nice thin fine line. Some of these like Sharpie marker type of things tend to just have this big bold line, which can be a little bit harder to keep track of where you need to be cutting kind of thing, and it just uses up more space, and they run out pretty quick. But right now it's what I've got and they work great. So just gonna mark our registration marks in a different color so we know. I think that might be a registration mark that I missed.
They're looking for me all frantic.
Oh. All right, cool. So there we go. And then these ones are going to bevel in like that. Okay. That's all straight cuts. We're good there. Let's hurry and trace this guy onto some foam. And then we'll cut all these out. This is the piece that will tie it all together. This is the one piece to rule them all. And this will be the one to watch to see how well our two defying guesstimations will turn out. For these, I want them all straight cuts. And what I've found out through time and much trial with different materials and techniques and everything is that two key secrets to getting these seams to just disappear. One is the material that you're using, and two is what you're using to cut your straight lines, or how straight you can get those straight lines, those straight cuts to be. So when you're gluing seams up edge to edge, that's where you have your greatest risk of them being visible on your finished piece. Ooh.
Sorry, everybody.
And so,
Just want to show Patricia. Oh, see, April had a better idea. A silicone funnel. I'll show you what Skylar uses. Patricia, he took some What the Foam, 2mm, and made a little funnel out of it. You can see it's all like dry inside of it.
yeah, I need to get me a nice, like a silicone funnel or something like that. That would be awesome.
April says I got a set on eBay.
Ooh. Cool.
Funnels are one thing that we're always like, we need a funnel, and we don't have one.
Yeah, like we're always saying, oh, I wish I had a funnel to do this.
One day we'll be grown up enough to own a funnel.
Yeah. It's just like one of those things. It's like happens frequently, but it's like
Not something you think about.
not. Yeah, like once we like figure out a solution, we're like, okay, well, we got that to work, and then it's like we don't think about, oh yeah, we needed that funnel. Let's get on and order that. Okay. Anyway, so what I was saying with the straight cuts, so the type of material you use is going to help get straighter cuts, even just cutting by hand. But then also too, the tools you use to cut the straight cuts will make a big difference as well. So, and the material will determine how clean those cuts will be for you as well. Because sometimes, if you're not getting a good straight, clean cut through it, and it ends up being a little bit like jaggedy from like a kind of a sawing motion, or some foams, if you stop and then start cutting again, it'll actually leave a little bit of a ridge along your edge and that kind of thing. So, I mean, that's partly why we created What the Foam, is to help with all these things. We asked tons of people that worked with foam what they liked about foam and what they didn't, and what some of their greatest challenges were in working with it and that kind of thing. And we found out that getting straight, good, clean cuts was a big deal that a lot of people had a hard time with. And so with What the Foam, you can, like, basically, even if you're cutting it with like not as sharp of a blade, you're going to get a good, clean cut. It's best to keep your blade as sharp as you can constantly, because it might not cut all the way through if it gets too dull. But I don't sharpen my blade near as or hone it near as much as I used to with working with other foams. But then also too, just like if you stop and you start again, it still gives you a clean cut, and that kind of thing. Also, before I've done things where I cut something at a straight and I was like, oh, I needed to cut that at a bevel. I'd have to redo the piece. But now with What the Foam, it's dense enough and it holds its shape well enough that if you cut a straight line there and you needed to bevel it in, you could just cut right along that edge and still add your bevel. Other foams will squish and condense too much, and it'll cause kind of like this ripping motion as it goes across it. So anyway, What the Foam is awesome for getting really straight cuts, and then this is the other half of the piece of the puzzle, a device that helps you to be able to cut perfect 90s. You can get really close, and if with the techniques, and I have videos or will put out a video on getting good straight cuts by hand with just using your X-Acto knife kind of thing, and getting them as straight as you can. But this gives you perfect 90s every time. It's Cos Tools straight cutter. I've loved this thing, and it's been so helpful. So highly recommend that. With those two things, and then if you just make sure you line your seam up relatively straight, you can hide your seams really well for your end result. So I'll show you guys that hopefully here. We'll see how far in we can get on getting these cut out and if we can get anything glued together.
So April was saying she needs to get some bottles because she was making a shield and it was getting annoying to like dip the silicone brush.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sky uses, these have paint in them right now. But
I have
you've probably seen them.
the pack of them right here. Yeah.
And he does exactly that, Patricia. He spreads it out.
Yeah, so you want a...
Oh, exactly, and I threw out my bottle and knew I made a mess before I found out they were silicone bottles.
Oh. That's cool. Silicone bottles? I need to look into that.
That would be cool.
That'd be handy. Because these, I can only put a certain amount in them just for the project I'm working with, because otherwise they're not completely airtight, and so it'll dry out, within a day or two. So, but anyway, these work great. Little fine tip especially for putting it on like edge to edge seams and that kind of stuff. These guys work great.
She was making a shield though, so it was bigger surface area.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
even with that, I like to just kind of do like a crisscrossing on it, and then spread it out flat, thin. And thin coats of contact cement is a big part of it too. If you lay it on too heavy, you'll get nappy seams because there'll be just too much glue in between there that you're fighting with. So, anyway, what were you about to say? Sorry.
I just wondered if you could pour it on, but that kind of answered my question because it would be too thick.
Yeah, I mean, if you just poured like a little bit in the middle and then spread it all out.
Sorry, she just meant the silicone funnels to put them in. She made a mess trying to pour it in.
Oh, okay. Oh, and then thought like, oh, it's ruined, kind of thing. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, so shall we cut some stuff out?
Sure, let's do it. Should we do it, guys? Let's do it.
Okay, so I've been asked this before, and it's a great question. When we had our pattern on here and we were tracing it,
Do you want to write like left or right?
yeah. And we were tracing it, we are tracing on the outside of the pattern, right? So the inside of this line is where we want to cut. Because the line's so thick, we need to make sure that we know where we're cutting with it. And so...
Sammy C. Buns wants to know, could you link your Patreon page?
Oh, yes.
I was about to do it, and then I realized that I can't put a link in the description.
Okay, so let's go to Patreon. Sorry, guys. Just maybe we'll switch camera angles here so that you guys can see us. So yeah, I'm just going to drop that in there real quick. Battery's running low. Did my thing pop out? Oh, it did. That's why it keeps turning off. I'm like, it doesn't usually do this. Here we go. Okay. Just pulling that, grabbing
Christian,
that
I
real
don't
quick.
think you can post a link in here, so Skylar will have to do it.
Oh, come on. It's making me verify. I'm glad it's secure. That's great. Yes, it was good. Okay. Let me in.
I'm sorry, guys.
I think I can just do this.
April, I got my 4mm with the foam, but now I'm wishing I got the variety pack.
Yeah. The variety pack's pretty popular. It's pretty handy just to kind of get a little bit of each. And I find myself using primarily 4mm, but then there are those like details where I use 6 and 2 here and there kind of thing. And so the variety pack's a good way to go for sure on that. Is this being like tilted and pulled down?
Probably because I hit it.
Oh yeah. There we go. Does the world seem like straighter for you guys now? All right. So let me copy this, and then paste it into here.
Spider. This guy's about to post it, but that works too.
What did they do?
Christian was just saying, Sammy, just add /cosplay apprentice.
Oh yeah. Here we go. Patreon link, and then dash paste. And save. Haha. There we go. Cool.
It's in there now.
There you go. Sorry about that. Okay, so anyway, you want to cut on the inside of the line. For these pieces, if there was something you were cutting out on the inside of the piece,
about that.
then you would be cutting on the outside of the line. So basically just look at your pattern and where you were tracing on it, and then be like, okay, well, the actual line of where the pattern was is on the inside of that line I was tracing, so that's where I need to cut. All right.
Do you want to do the angle above? So
Oh yeah, I sure do. After I finish this line now.
Sorry.
Nope, it's all good. Always forget that. I always think it'd be cool if they could just like pick which angle, and everyone could be viewing it from whatever angle they wanted. You know, that'd be sweet. I think I saw that it's possible, but I don't think we have the computing strength. Okay, so when it comes to corners and doing straight cuts, I like to start right in the corner. Instead of starting right here and coming into this corner, it's going to be harder to get that corner that way. Whereas this, I can just run off the edge because there's nothing else there. So on this side, I'm going to start from the corner here and go out, and start from the corner here and go out. And I find that that helps me get a cleaner corner where I can use that method. And I like to try and just be pulling towards myself whenever I can for my cuts. I just feel like I have more control over my speed and my eye line, being able to see what I'm doing. So you'll see me on curves and stuff like that, rotating the foam to be able to accommodate for that. So now, once again, I'm going to plunge into the corner here. And just pull right along the inside of that line. There we go. So when you're using the Cos Tools thing in those corners, it doesn't always get it perfect, but you can just come in with your X-Acto knife and just set it down in there and just kind of gently press into that corner, and it'll just clip that last little bit that's catching. So then right here, actually, so this one, because it's right on the edge here, I have more of the surface of this to keep it stable on this side. So I'm going to actually cut this line this way rather than doing it the other way, because it could teeter and actually destroy my straight cut. There we go. Okay. So once again here, into that corner. Boom. Into that corner and boom. Into that corner, down. Into that corner and out. What?
Oh, C-Bones just said, this is satisfying to watch. Anyone else feel the same? I'm just amazed because I'm always like nervous when I'm cutting, and you're just like boom, boom, done. I'm like, wow.
Okay, so right here, as I get to this corner, because this one was a little bit harder to just start in the corner and go, I'm going to just like lift up as I get into that corner, and then come here, and then I'll just clean that up with the X-Acto blade. With tighter corners, it's a little bit trickier, especially that happen in the middle of a line. You know what I mean? So right here, just take the blade right into the corner. So the blade is at an angle, right? So what I like to do is I like to tilt my blade so that it's running straight. So I'll kind of tilt it back at an angle so the blade is actually straight up and down, and then I'll just run that into the corner. So it's kind of just cutting straight up and down as it goes through. There we go. Perfect. probably getting dizzy with me spinning this foam around. Okay, so now here, what I'm actually going to do with this kind of rounded edge over here, that's hard to do with this. I'm going to cut to a certain point, and then I'm going to finish it off with the X-Acto blade. So now if you notice on each side of that visor thing, I was cutting to a different side of the line because this side of the line is the inside, and on this side of the line is the inside because as it wraps around. So the inside is referring to whatever side is the piece side, right? Okay, so now for this last part, I'm going to just get my blade in there right along that same track, and then with tight rounded corners, I like to lift my blade up to not quite, yeah, I mean it's sticking basically straight up, so I have kind of the smallest surface area cutting there as possible as I wrap around. And I'm rotating the foam, and I'm mostly letting the rotation of the foam kind of create that circle. So that'll need a little bit of cleaning up in there, but that's fine. Nothing a quick little pass with the Dremel can't handle.
29K subs, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Exciting.
We were gonna film a video like celebrating. We forgot to. But yeah, totally. Do we know where the sharpener is?
Oliver walked away with it at one point.
I think it's upstairs in the living room. Okay, no worries. Alright, so I've got one more straight cut I can do down here.
Yeah, April, that's me. I get nervous about cutting. And then I feel like it knows that I'm scared. Well, I hope Diego jumps on, so I was excited to tell him about
Oh yeah, about the Discord. Okay, so when in doubt on these bevels, I just go with like a 45 and then see where that takes us. So for cutting bevels, you know what? We could use, so CosTools has this V-groove cutter, and if you actually just remove one of the blades and only use the other one, it can just cut at a 45-degree angle in the same way that this straight cutter works, kind of thing. But I can try that out and test it. I haven't done that yet. So for now I'm just going to stick with the blade. Basically, to cut a bevel and have a consistent bevel, you get it lined up with at the angle that you want. Create a wedge with your hand to hold that at that angle. You're good. And then you just keep your hand at that same wedge as you pull the blade through. And once again, you can see I'm rotating the foam to get these curves. That way I'm not having to try to like do too much with my hand other than focus on maintaining that wedge. Now these ones actually will be shallower bevels, and they need to bevel in the other direction. So I'll actually be cutting more like that.
I was just laughing because Leia said, "Sounds like my house. Someone walked away with it." And then April said, "If someone walked away with something in my apartment, then I have goats."
That's awesome. Okay, there's that. Hopefully, yeah, I think those will line up okay. Same with this piece, I believe, is going to be the same way.
Oh, hi, Wiz.
Hey, Wiz, what's up, man? Cool. Haha, all right, sweet. So there's two pieces cut. If I could have you...
You have to make me cut something, right?
No.
Are you going to label those so we know what they are?
That's a good idea. There it is. This is jaw. This is right face. And then if you could take this piece and so what I'm doing here real quick is I'm just making it so that Olivia can trace this marking onto the back of this jaw piece that we just cut out, so we can do the underscore lines on the back. So this is the front of the piece, right? Now I'm going to have Olivia flip it over, flip this piece over, and I just kind of did some dashed lines along there that I'm going to have Olivia trace onto the piece.
What marker?
Does that work? If this green one actually will probably work for you, and that'll be the best one to get in there into those lines with. I need to give it a couple shakes. Do you need pins to hold it down?
Yes, please.
There you go. All right, cool. Let's keep cutting this one out while Olivia does that. These ones are all straight cuts again. So, talking on like the whole like scared to cut and stuff, the nice thing is like, well, first off, practice is gonna give you more confidence with that, but also too, using something like this where you're like, hey, I know that it's gonna give me a 90-degree angle, all I need to do is now focus on just cutting along the line. And from what I've found, for the most part, if your cuts aren't exactly perfect, you know, it's like right on the line and everything, usually all ends up working. The foam has a little bit of give, and, you know, well, it's going to be even, like, the more precise you are with it, the more precise your end piece will be, but it's not going to be, you know, you can have some leeway with your cuts. See, like this is nice because all I have to do is just know, hey, I'm just going to cut, follow the line, and it's going to just do the 90 for me. Versus if I'm doing it by hand, it's a little bit more effort. You're kind of focusing on a couple more things. You're trying to keep your blade straight up and down to get your straight cut, as well as trying to cut along the line. And it adds a little bit of complication to it, but that's one of the nice things about the Costools thing. And the way they have it lined up is you can almost go by where this edge is as far as like where it's going to cut, because it cuts pretty much right up along that edge for the most part. Or what I like to do is just go start at the beginning, and the nice thing is you can control whether your blade's in or not. Line that up right with the line with the blade, or right where I want it to go, and then just go from there. And just watch the blade and where it's cutting, just to be sure.
You have a question.
All right. I love questions.
I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm sorry. Thinks. When starting off with cosplay building, should you learn solo or do it with someone more experienced if you have that option?
It's a great question, especially in the times of coronavirus. It can be hard to have the option to learn it with somebody else. I think it just depends on whatever you can do to begin with. I mean, like, there's great resources online and everything like that, including our channel, which has a lot of different like techniques and tips and everything like that to try to help you learn, you know, how to do that kind of stuff. Anytime you can have a mentor, someone helping you that can be there and be like, notice something, oh, hey, here, if you do it this way, it's going to help save you time, you know, versus when you're trying to do it on your own, you might not catch those type of things as soon. But I really think that, what?
Hi, hey Skylar, I'm a cosplay boss on Patreon now.
Oh, nice.
Thanks,
Thank you, man. Dude.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's great. But really the most important thing is just doing it and getting started. So if you're waiting to be able to do it with somebody that has more experience and stuff like that, and that causes you to not start, then I would say that, you know, getting started just on your own is the best. Because basically the key thing is getting started is the best option. So whether that means you can do that right away with somebody there to help guide you, then that's excellent. If not, then just get started and start doing stuff, and you will learn so much faster just by doing. And then, you know, if you have the opportunity to have someone come in, and then they can teach you even more and help, you know, guide some of those things a little bit more. See, right there, I totally like missed the line partially. It curves in a little bit more than what I did. I think it'll probably work out fine. So that's just an example of what I was talking about.
Are you going to be able to see this enough, or should I go in and like touch it up now that I know?
Yeah, now you kind of know where it is if you want to just mark that up. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Who was it that was asking that?
I haven't seen it.
Scythix. Yeah, that's a great question, and I'm so glad you asked it. But basically, the idea is get going, start doing, yeah, feel free to reach out with questions and things like that.
Well, and we have a Discord now.
We have a Discord now. Link in the description of this video. We just got that set up last night, so feel free to go to that. It's an invite to join, and you can join in there. And we have a bunch of people from the community that have already joined in there, and myself that'll be in there, and we can all help give advice and answer questions and help you as you get started. But I would highly recommend starting with foam. It's a great place to start. Minimal tools and materials that you need to get going. It's very forgiving, and you can make incredible stuff with it, so it doesn't hold you back as far as your creativity or being able to create some of the stuff that you may want to create. But yeah, and check out our channel here. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so. We have tips and tricks and builds and everything that come out frequently. One of the biggest things I also recommend to people getting started is use patterns. If there's a pattern already out there that exists for the piece you're trying to create, get it. You know, whether you can find it for free or if it costs a little bit, just get it, because it's going to help you have the confidence that, hey, this is going to turn out looking good because somebody's kind of done the legwork. But in the process, you're learning how a pattern works, how it's set up, how it comes together. You're learning the techniques for cutting and everything like that. It helps you to alleviate a lot of like the extra stress of like, is this going to look good? I don't even know what I'm doing, this and that. And you know that if you just follow along, you're going to have something that looks pretty great and you're going to be proud of. And then you can learn the techniques and see how things are set up and get a better idea of how that all works as you're doing it, so that way you build that confidence, you build a piece that you're excited about and you're pumped about, and it motivates you to keep doing more. And then eventually you move into making your own patterns, and then, you know, but having that experience of working with one, you know how something's broken down a little bit more, and it helps you see kind of behind the scenes a little bit while building up your confidence and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully that was a helpful answer for you. I don't know if it was the answer you were looking for, but that's what I got for you, and hopefully that helps. Sammy Seabones, cosplay boss on Patreon. That's awesome, man. So cool. I'm excited. All right. So Olivia just drew this. Let me switch to the other camera angle. She just traced on the back side of this with a green marker. And what I have green being is a score mark. So that means that I'm going to just score the foam right here. I'm not going to cut all the way through. I'm just going to cut down in this one being 4 millimeter. You always want to leave 2 millimeters left. So I'm going to cut in about halfway. So just 2 millimeters down. And you can do that in a similar way. You can just mark halfway down on the side here if you want, so that you have a visual reference as to where that would be. And then when you first start your cut, you can start off the edge just a little bit here. Get your hand in a comfortable position to where the tip of the blade, you're holding it back at an angle like this, but the tip of the blade will come in right at that halfway point. And then you can just start going in, and you just use your hand to make sure that it doesn't go any deeper than what you started, just by keeping your hand in that same position and not letting the blade go in any further. Now right here in this corner, I'm going to lift up and pivot, and then I'm going to bring it back around to there. So now what that allows us to do is with this jaw piece, it kind of frees up that foam to bend in and create this nice sharp line on the front side for that jaw piece. Does that make sense? How cool is that? It's such a simple technique, but it's so powerful. So let's see.
So Sam said no, and then I have to give my phone up.
Oh no.
My parents are almost throughout the black pearl. Oh no.
Oh shoot. Did you stop them? Hey, Sci-Fi Painter. No worries. Better late and have you here than not at all. So we're glad that you made it. So yeah, we're trying to glue together a couple of these pieces for the helmet using the pattern to test it out and make sure it's working okay. We just did an underscore cut here on the back side of this to create this cool look for the jaw piece. And I think we're at a point where we can try to glue some of these together. What do you think? Or are we done? Got 15 minutes maybe?
I'm just eating chocolate. I'm hungry. And this is what I scrounged.
Nice. All right. Should we try to glue some together?
Then I have to put on a mask, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I probably shouldn't.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys think? So this will be, we can kind of dry fit this and just see real quick how that's going to work.
So this is going to curve right because that's the part of the ear.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll want to probably glue this piece together first, and then we'll glue it in. What's going on? Stop them barely. They're giving me till March 1st to finish it. It's hard trying to build a 10-foot long boat that is 8 feet tall. Yeah, man, totally. Hey, Leia's on back. Did we lose Leia for a little bit? Is she back on?
She says glue it.
Glue it.
But never seen that technique actually. Saw beveled edges mostly for such things.
Yeah. So instead of we're doing some beveled angles here, here, and here, but instead of having to do more here and make these all separate pieces, we can just simply do a score in the back. And then have that, meet up and create that angle for us. So, oh, let's see. So that was actually
silly question, but how do you transfer your contact cement to a squeeze bottle? Well, we kind of chatted about this. April had a better solution for us. Skylar made this funnel. You want to tell them about this cool funnel you made?
I just took a piece of 2mm What the Foam and just kind of wrapped it around itself with a little end that was thin enough to fit into there, and then I just kind of pour it in, and it works. I just hot glued it together. But April found some silicone funnels, and that would be a lot better way to go.
Because you can peel off.
You can peel the glue off and stuff and keep it clean for pouring and whatnot. And probably not as janky looking. So, all right, cool. And then, yeah, for this technique, who was it? Scythix? Once we get it into where we want to, we can actually kind of split these open and then just fill this with hot glue on the back side, and that will cause this line to be really crisp right here on the front side. Well, I want to, depending on how it attaches and gets in here, will determine where we want that to sit. So I don't want to like set it into stone first and then get this in here and then it doesn't match the curve that actually needs to be created. Okay. That makes sense. But
so, do I need a mask?
Yeah, let's grab masks real quick and we'll try gluing in. So I think what we'll do is we'll be able to glue this jaw piece in, and then that might be the end of today. So we're putting on our masks because we're working with contact cement, and it's stinky stuff and not good to breathe in. So probably. Okay, so I'll set this off to the side for a second. All right, I'm going to put my mask on so I might sound different. You got yours on? Okay. Give this a little stir beforehand. I'm not going to put a ton in, so I have put like some plumber's Teflon tape around this to try to help seal the air out a little bit better, and it helps, but it still dries out. I need to find some small bottles that are more airtight, that are still squeezable to work even better for this, but
seal the foam before gluing pieces together. And then Bradwick, it was like a scrap piece of what the foam that had already been cut out of the inside of a pattern or something.
Oh, this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's too valuable for the rest of us to just...
Oh, yeah. No, this was just a scrap piece. You can see I had like markings on it and stuff. So yeah. You can do it with just regular craft foam and create a funnel that way too. You don't need to use it, what the foam, because yeah, that is a pricey funnel. Just kind of trying to clean up the lid here a little bit so it doesn't all squeeze out when I put the lid back on. And then I like using the chisel to pop it open, and then it also has like the little metal back to it, so I can use that to kind of hammer it back on. So I just stick it on the ground. The table's absorbs too much of the shock, so it won't really help, so I put it down on the concrete. To tap that back on. think we got it in there. Set this up here. Put our lid back on. And then you can just take a scrap piece of any foam, and I like to just cut it at a triangle shaped wedge, or if you have the silly brush, that works great as well, to kind of spread your foam out. I especially like using this when I'm doing like larger surface areas. This one's nice for like thinner edges and stuff. So we're going to put the glue here, 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 and then here and here. So the nice thing about the bottle is you can just squeeze just a little bit out. It helps cut down on the amount of odors too, so you're not like just have an open can that's just like fuming up the whole space. And then the key is you just want to get nice thin coats. So you just spread that out nice and thin. Now I'll do it to this other side. So you don't really need a whole lot because you're going to be spreading it out nice and thin. The contact cement actually goes really far. And the less you kind of put on there, the easier it is to get it spread thin, but then also too, you're going to have less mess on the top of your piece where you're going to have your seam, so less to clean up later. Let's get both of these at the same time. There we go. And the other nice thing is when you are spreading it really thin like this, your dry time is much less. On the bottle it says to wait like 5 minutes or something like that, or 20 minutes or something. I've never had to wait 20 minutes. That's more for the use when people are like using it to put on countertops and stuff like that. But when you put it on nice and thin, like this side's already set up and ready, I'm going to do a second coat, just because I find that doing this a little second thin coat helps it, because sometimes the foam will absorb a certain amount of the contact cement to where you don't have that full layer on the top. And so doing a second layer, second coat, just nice and thin, helps to make sure that you're going to get that good hold all along the seam. Because some places, some sections of it might have gotten a full coverage and didn't get absorbed, and others may have. So just doing that second coat helps be more sure that you're going to get good stick across the length of your seam. Were you looking to see if we had any comments, questions to address or anything?
Got you into foam making / cosplay from Steven.
I think it like started with polyplastics, right? So yeah, just got this material called, I think the first one I got was, did we get polyplastics first or Instamorph or something? Yeah, Instamorph. Saw an ad on Facebook or something for a product called Plastamake, and the one that was here in the US was Instamorph. And I was like, what? That's so cool. I want to try that. And I think you got some for me, or...
Yeah, it was like your birthday.
For my birthday or something, and I decided to make Inigo Montoya sword with it. This is like really ambitious, like hadn't done anything like that before. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna do that. And then it was like so cool to work with and everything. I was like, man, this is awesome. Yeah, it's like show people how cool this stuff is. And then at some point in there, we went to Comic-Con, and I saw all the amazing costumes. I'm like, what? I had no idea this existed. This is so cool. I thought cosplay was only related to like anime stuff and didn't extend beyond that. And so at Comic-Con, I saw all these cool costumes for all these characters. I'm like, that's so sweet. I would love to make that. I'm always really into Halloween, but I was like, this is like Halloween all year long. This is great. So I was like, I need to make a costume. And I started with kind of trying to make props and stuff with the Plastimate and sharing with people how I did it because I thought it was such a cool product. And then as I started researching stuff more and looking up how to make a Wonder Woman costume for Olivia, I found the foam side of things and saw a video by Evil Ted on how to make a breastplate. And I was like, what? We can make something that looks like that out of foam? This is amazing! So then I started, my first foam project was the Wonder Woman breastplate. And it was just so cool that I just kept going with that. And I found the foam a lot more forgiving. Not forgiving, because you can like redo stuff multiple times with polyplastics. But I found it more, for bigger sections of things, it was a lot easier to create something like a helmet or a breastplate with that than like with a Warbler or a sheet of plastic kind of thing. I tried Sintra as well to see like if it was kind of a nice mix between what the foam and Warbler and thermoplastics and stuff, because I really liked the thermoplastic stuff because it gave you a nice hard shell. It felt sturdy like armor. I tried Sintra and different things, and I made a really rickety sounding Nightwing, and then like it was so brittle it just like broke in several places, and I tried to wear it to the con, and it didn't last long and stuff. And so I was like, well, I'll just keep doing foam. You know, it may not have as cool of an armor-like feel, but it definitely looks great. And so I started doing more with that. And then, you know, I was like, I want something that's kind of like in between, that I can do a thin piece of armor that doesn't have to be super thick to have like it hold itself together, and like, you know, like Warbler, and be thin and strong and sturdy and feel like armor, more realistic, but to not have the drawbacks of like some of the other plastics and thermoplastics and stuff with how flimsy it can be, or, you know, different things as far as when it's hot and trying to keep it to hold its shape and whatnot. So that's kind of where we came up with finding from people what they liked and didn't like about foam and Warbler and whatnot, and then created What the Foam to try to solve that. So hopefully you guys heard any of that through my mask.
You sound like a fighter pilot.
Okay, so now I'm just throwing the glue along here real quick so it can be drying while we're...
Michael Diaz says, looking for a new laptop to draw my cosplay designs. Cricut t-shirt designs and 3D modeling. Any suggestions?
Oh, cool. I don't know. I don't have it myself, but I've been, like, every time I see the Microsoft Surface Pros and those kind of things, I'm like, man, that would be sweet. I'm mostly still just on desktop, so I haven't looked into too much of, like, the laptop stuff for design yet. But I know at where I used to work, you know, that they were looking at the Surface ones, but then they were a little bit too pricey for them, so they just got some like souped up Dell laptops for us that were touchscreen, and those were pretty cool. But yeah, but my boss had the Surface and thought it was pretty amazing. And like it's cool with the pen and everything like that. It opens up options for you for design that you wouldn't have just on a regular laptop or keyboard and mouse setup. But once again, I'm probably not the best to give any recommendations. If other people know more about that side of things for the laptops and computers and stuff, feel free to chime in, because I haven't researched it enough to feel like I could be like, definitely this one. But that's the one I've been eyeing as far as what I would probably get if I had the option. You okay? Okay. Sorry, we're almost done with the gluing section here. This is the next cosplay problem that we need to try to solve and figure out. Is like, contact cement is so perfect for doing this, but a lot of people complain about the glue up process and how you know, having to wear a mask while they do it, and you know, and stuff. And I agree. It's always difficult for me to get started on it. But so keeping my eye out for possible options to try. Alright, cool. So let's give that just a quick second while we stick these pieces together. So we're just going to line these seams up on the front. There we go. And it's possible I cut these way too sharp of angles, that they don't need to like meet up at that intense of an angle right there, but we'll see. Might work out. Once again, that's kind of some of the stuff I plan out a little bit more on the digital pattern. Okay, there we go. That worked. Let's check. So to know when your contact cement is set up and ready to go, you can touch it and you'll hear kind of that slight little tacky sound. You'll hear kind of that slight tacky sound, but nothing will come off on your finger. So right here, if I go right here on the edge, you can see there's some, like, too much there. It's not dried yet. You can see it's kind of coming off on my finger. You don't want that to be happening, you know, along your piece. So kind of find the thickest part that looks like it might be still wet looking, and try that and make sure it doesn't come off on your finger. And if it doesn't, then you're good. Alright, so I'm going to start in the corner here. I'm going to try to hold this down so it doesn't try to stick to it while I stick this edge on.
And then you're meeting up the registration.
And yeah, big focus on just getting those registration marks to line up as I go down. And then just trying to stick that top edge of that bevel in line with those registration marks as I go. Then once I have the top lined up and a good edge there with those registration marks, then I can kind of press it down in and get the rest of that seam to meet up to each other there. And then we'll start going along here. See, now these type of scenarios are where the registration marks really come in handy, because this is going to help you get back to that exact, because there's so many different, like when you're doing this, if you connected these in a different way, it would, you know, come in at a different angle. It would not take the exact shape that you created in your pattern. And so registration marks are huge for being able to get it to come back to what you set up. Because if I just let this do what it wanted to, a couple of these would have lined up differently, and I wouldn't have had. And then once you have those, I like to really press my edges together tight, because contact cement is that, like, based on contact, and they usually put a lot of pressure and weight on the pieces when they're connecting them together to help increase that bond. So I just like to press them together nice and tight along there. Okay, there you go. We have a jaw piece of a Mandalorian helmet right there, and I feel like it's looking pretty snazzy. So the nice thing is, I think we're good now. The nice thing is that, you know, that was only 2 pieces, and it helps it all start to kind of take the proper shape with the curve as it starts to curve around and everything. And then we can hit this with a little bit of heat, and then this part needs to kind of curve out just a little bit more, and then we can add in our hot glue on the back here to kind of set that in place so that that line stays really nice and crisp and sharp on the front. But yeah, and then along this edge here, the way we hit our seams right there is perfect, because you can just come in with your rotary tool and just kind of gently sand down, just barely kind of run it across there, sand down any glue bits that might be sticking up or anything, and that seam just completely disappears. You just kind of round off that edge just a tiny bit, and then that seam is gone. You would have no idea. It looks like it's all kind of just like a Mandalorian helmet. No, just kind of the bent metal, all one piece kind of thing. Looks like it's been cast or something, you know? So, yeah, there you go. Sweet. That's exciting. Switch camera angles. Finish this up. What do you guys think? Let me know. If you guys think that's looking good. Would you consider making the Leviathan axe or Blades of Chaos from God of War? You know what? Actually, I think Odin. Did they already tell him?
April says Odin made it.
Yeah, Odin made it. He actually used our FOMO to make the skull shape stuff on the blades, and it turned out really cool. So I think I would just send you to his, because he did a great job on those, and they look really good. So, yeah. I saw it, Thomas. Much props, just got a drawing tablet. I was thinking of going that way with my laptop. My wife has the Surface Pro, but the graphic card isn't strong enough. Yeah, you'd want to get like the ones with the, you know, upgraded graphics card. That's part of the problem with the Surface Pros too, is it's getting to be a little bit like some of the Apple products, where at a certain like point for those, like you can't really swap out things. Most PC stuff, you have the ability to put in a, you know, more larger you know, RAM or SSD card, or, you know, plug and play a little bit more kind of thing. But yeah, I think the Surface Pros are a little bit more locked down. Drawing tablet, yeah, you'd have to ask him about that. That would be sweet. Michael Diaz says, so clean, nice job. Skylar, that looks awesome.
Those look really cool. I'm excited
Joshua.
about that.
April says it looks awesome as well. Leia says it looks great. Aw, thanks, guys.
Tell me what you think.
Tell me what you think. Make sure it's good. No, but yeah, I think that's looking really cool. I am the Mandalorian. But yeah, I think that's great. And what's interesting is like that's just kind of the side piece, and then this piece is going to continue around, connect up onto this, and start to create all our curve that happens up on top and meet up. Now I'm really excited to see how our seams here work out. Now when we do these ones, because it's on more of a curve, these ones, they're pretty straight edges, and there wasn't much curve that we were dealing with, you know, other than just kind of the curve that's just going to be created with these. And so we could have done this, and it might have been a better way to do it. But with What the Foam, generally you want to, when you're connecting your seams together, heat up the foam after you've put the glue on. Heat up the foam, not concentrating on the glue edge because that'll cause it to kind of get tacky again, but just heating up the foam in general just to kind of soften it, because it wants to hold its shape where it's at, so it wants to stay flat. But once you heat it up, it becomes more malleable, and then you stick your seams together while it's hot, and then it's going to just hold that shape. So with this, it'll be good to give, you know, pass some heat on this and stuff and have it kind of settle in and take its shape with where the seams are telling it to go. But definitely on this part where it's got the curve to it and everything, and we've got these dark seam lines on the top, we're going to want to definitely heat the foam up first after we've put the glue on those edges, the 2 layers of glue. Heat it up and then stick it together while it's hot, and then that'll just, the foam will take shape of where the seams tell it to go. The glue will hold it in place, and then as it cools, it'll just cool in that position and say, all right, this is my new you know, home, back to home position, right? So that's where it'll want to stay instead of trying to stay flat, kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, tidbit with working with What the Foam, that's like one of the biggest key differences in working with it. Other than that, it works mostly the same as you would work with other EVA foams, other than just you're going to get cleaner cuts. It sands cleaner, smoother. It's got a smoother surface. The score lines, when you're doing scoring details, they're just crisper. So, yeah.
James Force asks, is this downloadable?
Yeah, hey James Force, welcome to the live stream. So glad to have you on here. Great question. So the pattern right now is just in this stage, my tin and tape method, and we're testing it out here on the live stream. But I am digitizing it. For those that are Tier 2 patrons and up, the pattern will be made available early. So on Patreon, our Tier 2 patrons get access to every pattern that I ever make, and early access. So every pattern that I have made, and then early access to any new patterns I come out with. So I'll make that available to them as soon as I have it digitized and I know it's like working. But then I'm making a video on it of how to, you know, use the pattern to put it all together and everything like that. And then I'll make the pattern available when that video comes out on my website for people to be able to get. I usually charge around $15 for like an in-depth pattern helmet, like something like this. But if you are interested in doing kind of the Patreon thing, it's $10 a month for that tier, where you get every pattern I've ever made and early access to any I come out with. We're planning on doing more Mandalorian stuff than just the helmet, so that might be something that would be interesting to you. And we're still trying to figure out what exactly we want to do with this pattern when we come out with it. But yeah, so the patrons will get early access, and then everyone else, I'll have it available when I get the video out after making it. So hopefully that answers your question. It will be available for download, digital PDF. You can download it, print it out on just 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, cut it out, trace it onto your foam, and when you glue it together, the way I make my patterns, if you just follow the pattern and you glue it all together, it's going to look basically just like mine does in the end. I try to make them as like precise as possible and give you everything you need to be able to just do that and have the confidence it's going to look amazing. So one of the things I do with my patterns too is work really hard to try to hide all the seams so that you have minimal effort after you've glued it together of trying to hide seams and do this and that. Part of that is it helps a lot using the What the Foam, and you can get the nice thin look of the Mandalorian helmet with the 4mm foam, because it's going to hold better than some of the thicker foams that you would normally have to use to get that shape hold. But you get it nice and thin, so you have more room inside the helmet to be able to put stuff, as well as you know, just less going on, and it just looks more realistic. So hopefully probably gave you more than what you asked for on that question, but there you go. Cool. And then C-Bone said, "Hey Skylar, could you give me tips on becoming a confident cosplayer?" Yes, use patterns. To start off with, use patterns. Start with foam. It's a great place to start. You can make amazing things with minimal tools. And
so you're saying use other people's patterns, though?
Use
existing
patterns, whether they're mine or someone else's that's made them. Odin has a bunch. Much Props has a bunch. Both of them make them available for free. Zing Prod has some. I think he sells. Kamui has a bunch. Evil Ted has a bunch. Bill Duran has a bunch of patterns. But also lots of other just cosplayers make theirs available, you know, all over. So try to find, you know, go on Etsy, different places, see if there's a pattern that exists already, or go onto YouTube for what you're making. And if you can get a hold of a pattern, somebody's done the legwork to try to make sure that that's going to result in a good-looking piece. So that'll give you the confidence, hey, this is going to look great. I just need to follow this pattern. And then you can learn the techniques as you go of, you know, putting it together. Your brain starts to figure out, oh, this pattern's set up this way because this then connects to this. And that's how they break it down. Your brain starts to figure out some of those things that are a little bit more complicated. But you can confidently be putting that together, learning the skills, and gaining confidence that you're doing it, that you're the one making it, and it's looking awesome. And you're learning so much in the process. And then you have an awesome result at the end, too, that makes it so much more rewarding. So when you're starting off, don't be afraid to use patterns. It helps a ton. Like seeing Evil Ted and his patterns and how he broke them down and everything helped me so much to understand, what? That's how they put it together? That makes so much sense now. As like,
what if no creator has something I want to make? You
so
can find something similar and modify it.
Yeah, so that's an area too where like Kamui and Bill Duran have a lot of, and Evil Ted too, have a lot of just base patterns. And I'm starting to build out some of mine as well because I see the value in that, of something that's similar. Hey, that has kind of the basic shape that I'm going for with the piece I'm trying to do, whether it's a helmet or something like that. You know, for the Mandalorian one, right? Like if it's just kind of a basic dome helmet, they're like, you could use this to make a Spartan helmet or a Mandalorian or the beginnings of a clone trooper or a stormtrooper. You know, you can take those bases, and that gives you a good idea to kind of create the base, and then you start, you know, cutting out pieces or adding pieces to that to then build on and create it. And that gives you a good starting point, and to help get to that point too. And then otherwise, you know, if you're needing to pattern it yourself, I have a whole playlist on patterning and kind of what that process looks like, using the build-out method or just patterning something that fits tight to your body, how you would do those slightly differently. That light just dropped out of nowhere.
Jumped. It was like, I'm done.
Like nothing even pulled on it. We didn't even do anything. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully, so that playlist is there to help. Hopefully I'll be able to do some more videos on patterning. That was when we were kind of just like run and gun, getting the videos out, trying to help people get this information. And so they might be a little bit long or not as show things off as well because we were just doing it with our cell phone. But it hopefully helps give you the good idea if you're needing to pattern something yourself, how to do it. And if you're doing that, start off by patterning something like a van brace, something that's more of a simple curve. It's not a complex curve. It just curves in one way around your arm. You can pattern it on your arm using the tin and tape method. And just start with something like that. It's going to build your confidence into, patterning other things. So you kind of start to learn the idea and how that translates onto the foam and then becomes this object. And
they said Punish Props has books that could help you with that.
Yeah. Great, other great resources. Punish Props books.
I think that way you're going to
books.
have the most confidence.
It's just by doing it.
By doing it.
Yeah, you just got to get started. That's the biggest thing. You're
and
gonna
make something small. Start small.
Yeah, start with something small.
Make a pauldron. Make an armband.
A vambrace, a pauldron. Start on something
like
small.
Armband, and you have this fancy word.
Vambrace.
Vambrace.
Start on something small, and just do it. That's the biggest thing. You just got to get going. You're gonna learn so much and learn so much faster. Yeah, you might mess up a few times. You might have like some bad edges, and then it's when you like look up, like, how do I get cleaner cuts, or how do I get cleaner edges? And you're gonna know what to research, and then you'll be able to immediately apply it. More so when you're just getting going and starting stuff and actually doing things than just trying to be like, all right, I want to learn it all and then just be able to do it. You learn by doing. So that's the ultimate, thing, is just start doing. And that's why I recommend patterns, because it helps you alleviate a lot of concerns to just get going and start doing stuff.
So people want to know if you're going to do a custom paint job on this or not. That's what I think I've seen.
Oh.
I don't have my own phone to read here, so I have to like sneak behind him to read the paper.
Hey, Moda. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you. Really great channel. I'm just getting into cosplay, and your vids are really helpful. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much.
Bye, Sammy.
Hey, see you, Sammy. Thanks for tuning in, man. It's always so much fun. Thanks for becoming
a
a boss level patron.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the question you said?
Custom paint job.
Oh, custom paint job. Well, I'm thinking I might end up making this helmet twice, it looks like, because we're doing it now here, and I didn't film any of this, so I need to film it for the video.
Let's make this one a Boba Fett one.
Ooh.
But it's not stout like Boba Fett.
Yeah. So we could do a custom paint job on one of them, and then the Mandalorian paint job on the other. That might be fun. Yeah. Something to consider. You guys always have great ideas.
Give one away.
Maybe we could give one away. Yeah, anyway. All good ideas, all good things, all good things. Yeah, look how cool that looks. Once we add that little bit of that curve, I'm just kind of pressing it in right now, but when we heat that up and add that in. Looks good. I'm excited. Moda asked, what are some great starter tools? All right, to get going using EVA foam to craft things, you're going to need an X-Acto blade. I recommend our Cosplay Apprentice dope knife, just because it looks amazing. And then also, if you're doing any thicker foams, you'll want one of these retractable blades. So basically a cutting utensil and a cutting mat to protect your surfaces so you don't ruin a table like I did when I got started.
Yes, he did.
So
two, I think.
Two. Did I ruin both tables?
Dining room table. The black one.
Oh yeah, and then also the card table. Yeah. So get yourself a cutting mat early on. You can get them for a good price on Amazon. If you guys go to my kit link, kit.co/cosplayapprentice, I think.
Just put it in the description.
I'll put it in the description here as soon as my computer responds. Kit.co. I have kind of a list of like, my cosplay arsenal, the stuff that I use and would recommend. View profile, there we go, and then we'll copy that link. Yeah, kit.co/cosplayapprentice. I'll drop that in the description. Edit. But yeah, basically this will be kind of everything that I use. If you see something that I'm using that you don't see in there, let me know so I can add it. But tools and recommendations.
And this will have the bottles in it too.
This will have the bottles in here too. I'm taking you guys to the main page here, and you can look through the different kits that I have. Recommendations. Okay, I misspelled recommendations, but I'm just leaving it because it's whatever. And
You can just tap on it and have it fix it.
maybe there's too many misspellings in there. It'll be fine. Anyway, so I just dropped that in the description. It's a kit link. Yeah, I have a bunch of kits. Some of them are just like, hey, to make this character's helmet, I used these things. But I have one in there called Cosplay, my Cosplay Arsenal, and that's most of the stuff that I use, tools-wise and things like that. But basically, to get going, cutting blade, a cutting mat, and what was the other thing?
Glue and foam?
Yeah, your materials.
If you do glue,
Yeah, if you're going to be gluing it, get yourself a respirator. That's a big thing. So, I mean, like, total, you're looking at to get all of those for a good size mat like this and a good respirator with the cartridges, I think $50, something like that. So it's not that big of an investment up front. If you want to, and you're going to just start making a van brace first, just get your blade and your cutting mat. You can make a heat gun. That's a heat gun. I link to a good one on there that's available on Amazon. It's under $20, and it's worked great. This is not, that's not this one. This one's a little bit higher end one. It has more temperature controls and stuff. But you don't need anything that fancy to start off with, unless you're like, you know, wanting to just be like, hey, I'm going to invest in good stuff to begin with. Then, you know, you'd want to go with like this heat gun, the Wagner Furno 750. It gives you like fan controls and temperature controls, and as a cool down feature, so that if you set it on a table or, you know, different things, it's just going to blow cool air until it cools down, so it's not starting any fires. Anything like that.
Do you have a starter tool set that you sell?
I don't. That's something that we looked at that we would feel like would be handy to
be like,
do and be like, hey, here's your starter kit, just like, you know, now you're set up to get going kind of thing. I've done it mostly more just by like kind of breaking it down for people. I created a calendar of, hey, here's how you can spread out your tools and buy them a little bit at a time, and what I'd recommend getting. So if you notice on the kit link there, I've got like month 1, month 2, month 3 kind of thing broken down. And that's kind of what I've done. I tried to break it up so you're not spending more than like $35 a month building up your tool set there. But yeah, that's something we can definitely look at, because it's something we've talked about, of kind of building that out and kind of creating a starter kit type of thing. Let us know in the comments what you would imagine like seeing in the starter kit. Would it need like just the tools to get started, or would you guys be thinking too you want some materials in there to be able to use to get started too, which would make sense,
even a pattern,
and a pattern to like practice on and like learn some techniques type of thing? What would you guys imagine being in a starter kit that you would feel would be like valuable to be like, hey, I'm just going to get that kit and do it, because it would be good for us to know of what you guys would expect or want out of something like that, kind of thing. Hashtag starter kit.
Can I have your phone? I hate that I can't see the comments.
Yeah, sorry. Here you go.
Thanks.
Yeah, anyway, great questions, you guys. This is awesome. Thanks for, you know, asking so many questions and throwing stuff out. Let's see. You just answered my question. LOL, thanks. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Got Punch Props book, and they really help a lot. So much info in them. Yeah, totally. Let's see. What was Scythix referring to with the helmet in the back? Love the helmet in the back.
I don't know which one.
Which helmet are you talking about? We've got the. I guess they can only see these two. Are you talking about the Hiccup one, or the? There's the Hiccup one, or are you talking about the Clone Trooper one?
Motomoto said, I'm excited about making stuff for me and my 6-year-old son.
So
we're making our kids right now. This little baby hiccup.
Little mini hiccup helmets. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. I used the pattern that I did on this one, which this one I just, was creating the pattern for everyone else for, and it took, a long time, like lots of hours of getting the pattern set up right and everything digitized so that anyone could recreate it. And then I used the pattern to make these ones. We just scaled it down a little bit, and it was so fast. It was amazing.
It was crazy fast.
It was so awesome. So yeah, I don't know which helmet you were referring to, but we also have the Wonder Woman one. They might be talking about that. I've got a video that I just wrote.
Patricia says, like a dope knife, some small grinding stone, sample foam, bracelet pattern, small super glue, and paint. This is what I imagine in the starter kit. I think that's like a bracer type thing would be a good one to get people's feet wet.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's way fun. I just can't get over how cute.
Small grinding
little
stone,
baby
sample
one is.
foam, bracelet pattern, small super glue and paint.
Leia, the head that you guys
Cool.
made turned out great. It's looking awesome. I guess is it done? I don't think it's done yet, but it's looking really good.
Yeah, Moda, I'm super excited for you too. Like, if you haven't already, we have a Discord now. The link is in the description as well. Go get on there, and if you guys make stuff, we have a section for like show off, or we have questions and question section and different things too. So yeah, please share what you make with your 6-year-old. That sounds so cool. It's so fun.
Yeah, we have a 7-year-old and a
5-year-old and a
2-year-old that we're making these.
Yeah, and I wanna start getting our 7-year-old into. He's at the point where I feel like he can do more and make stuff himself a little bit more, and he's way into making stuff, but it's always been hard, like with the materials, like what do I have him work with and different things, and it'd be fun to have him kind of be able to start making some things and get into that a little bit more. So that's awesome, man. Sounds so cool. Cool.
Awesome.
Oh, are you talking about their like that bear
the
head
Freddy
thing that
head,
yeah, so cool. That was amazing. When I saw that, I was like, that looks so good.
Oh, James also said you could a cheap hot glue gun too.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm imagining probably like a hot glue gun. I mean, if we want it to be like pretty much everything you need to do to be able to make something like this,
You need a heat gun in there.
you need a heat gun in there. You're gonna need a heat gun,
So if
some glue.
if we were to do our box subscription, which we're thinking about, I guess you could check like starter kit.
Yeah, like
if
I'm
you
just getting
didn't
started,
have it,
and you
then-
could get that first
Yeah, that's a
as
good
your
idea,
first
guys.
delivery or something,
Ooh.
maybe.
Ooh, this is exciting.
Anyway, but yeah, you'd need a heat gun, a cutting mat, a dope knife, maybe we could look at like the little cans of the DAP Weldwood contact cement. And you need a mask if you're going to use the contact cement though. But if it's just to do a van brace to start
this
with.
could be just like a bigger purchase thing.
Yeah.
That you like say, I'm getting started. I want the.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, because basically it just depends on. We'd have to determine what things is it going to set you up to be able to make, right? Because if you're going to be doing any gluing, you're going to need a respirator, and it'd be good to have the glue along with the sample of foam. But even if
You
you're,
could
and
also
then like,
say, go buy a respirator.
yeah, that's true. But anyway, cool. Something to think about. That's awesome. But yeah, a little cheap hot glue gun would be good, too.
Sure.
The metal ruler is handy. Retractable blade, X-Acto knife, some foam, super glue, accelerator, a heat gun, and some foam. Cool.
What about us? I'll buy the starter kit. Yeah, this is all new. We've talked about it for like 2 years now about making a starter
Yeah,
kit.
it's just been like the logistics and then like collecting that many pieces to put in a kit and then have enough people that want to buy that kit with all those pieces in it and putting those pieces in that and hope not having it just sit there and not sell, type of thing. So it's good to know that you guys have interest in it. I'd say a few tiers for the starter kits, 50, 75, 125. And if it was something we were,
Sorry, 1 second. Are you okay?
if it was something we were assembling together too, if it wasn't like a ton of orders and it was something we just fulfilled, then we could do something more easily like that with like a couple different levels of like, what are you wanting, you know, in it, kind of thing. Have a couple different options, like 3 options, like you're saying, 50, 75, and $125. Then that way we could determine what all we throw in it. Versus if we were trying to sell it on Amazon, then we'd have to stock all 3 of those and have them there and ready to go. And then like, if one is more popular than the other, we have just inventory sitting there. So yeah, that's... There's a bit of stuff you need to start. When I started, I went off what builder I used. Michael Diaz off to the comic book store to pick up my poll. Have a great weekend. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.
Probably wind down too.
Yeah, wow, we're at 2.5 hours. Sorry, guys. Okay. Thank you guys so much. That was great feedback. I love all the ideas of what to put in there and everything. So awesome. And I'm excited to see this in foam. You guys, this is so exciting. This is huge. And I'm really like excited to see this come together. It's coming together really well.
Yeah,
I think this is looking
are
good.
all the
Exciting to
helmet
see.
builds on your channel? Yes. All
Yep.
3 of those builds right there, and the Wonder Woman.
And the Wonder Woman Gold Eagle helmet.
We also have
Yeah,
the
Black
Spider-Man
Panther,
face
Hiccup,
shell.
Clone Trooper, this one, the Spider-Man face shell as well. So this is to be able to go underneath your mask for being Spider-Man. Helps give you that Spider-Man profile and whatnot. Helps smooth things out. If you're like me, you got a long nose. Yeah, we have Wonder Woman van braces, helmet, armband, tiara, lots of stuff. Yeah, check it out. We got lots of great videos on those, and for basically everything we have a pattern to go with it, so to make it easy for people to recreate. Anyway, cool. Well, thank you guys so much. This has been a ton of fun. I feel like we got some good progress on this. We had some great interaction. Thank you for those of you that donated as well. Holy cow, you guys are awesome.
And join us on Discord.
Join
Hop
us
over
on
there.
Discord.
I've never used it before. I just signed up, made an account, and joined in, and so we'll be able to interact with you there.
Yeah, my first time on it was last night when we finished getting it set up. Like, so yeah, I'm excited to learn that as well and be able to see you guys on there. It was really fun. There were a couple people that just saw it because we connected the Patreon to it, and they already popped in, and while we were just setting things up, they hopped in there, and like all of a sudden we heard people's voices, and we're like, whoa, what? Like,
It's fun
hey,
to put voices
put
to
voices
faces.
to people's names and stuff like that on the voice channel thing. It was really cool. And then I saw a bunch of other people like inviting. You guys were inviting each other.
Said, can we make a one-time donation on here on what is this, YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube you can.
There's a little money sign in the comments. You can just
Right
tap
next to the
that.
chat box, there's like a little dollar sign. And so we've had a couple people do some donations there. Yeah, you just click on that and you just do a one-time donation of whatever amount you want.
And we're just grateful for anything. Thank
Yeah,
you so
they're
much.
called super chats, I think, here on YouTube. But yeah, so that's how you would do that. But yeah, you guys are awesome. It's so much fun. We had some new names on here, and I think I've seen a couple commenting on other videos, but I haven't seen you guys on the live streams yet, so that was fun. And I'm excited to get this pattern and video out for you guys. We've got some good content coming up too. I was starting to say I just wrote the script for the video on creating those helmet holders that I'm using back there and how to do that. So kind of a little workshop hack to create a helmet holder for like under $2 each that you can use to display all the cool helmets you're about to make because you're going to go check out all those videos. But yeah, so some fun stuff coming down the line for you guys, and it's going to be a great year. Thank you guys for all your support and watching the videos and commenting and interacting on those and then tuning into the live streams. It means a ton to us, and we're grateful for all of you guys, and it's so fun to hang out with you each week. So we'll catch you again next week on the live stream next week, same time, Friday. Fridays at 11 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. I'll try to start on time next week. I had some technical difficulties again this time getting started, but we should be good.
We also do put out videos every Wednesday.
Yep. Videos every Wednesday with like tips and techniques and workshop hacks and build videos, kind of thing. But every Wednesday we at least have like a technique video that's going to come out teaching you how to work with foam, EVA foam, foam clay, other materials and that kind of stuff too. So.
Bye, James. Bye, April.
Okay, thank you guys so
Bye,
much
Christian.
for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend and a great week, or a great weekend, I guess, because it's still Friday.
It's the beginning.
It's the beginning of the weekend, right?
Yes.
Once you're off work.
Bye, Leia. Guys, we'll
Anyway.
chat in Discord throughout the week.
Yeah. Okay, see you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and always cosplay on, my friends. See ya.
Bye.
Try to strike a pose. There we go. Cool.